This is EGMC, the Guerrilla Marketing Challenge. So how do we understand guerrilla marketing in terms of very basic terms? Something that is unconventional, something that catches the attention, something that delivers more than the media value, something that utilizes the environment to speak more than what it is. As we start our presentation and keeping the minimal basics, understanding the guerrilla marketing and its implementation for easy jobs according to our perspective, that is team complementary evil, we start, and taking over will be Harsimran Singh Sethi.
Thank you for the introduction, Vishesh. Now, as we start off with our presentation, the first thing that we start off with is the focus group discussions that we had held at our college of 20 people in 2 groups each. So we had divided the basic thought processes of the people into 2 parts. What are their insights on job search as an overall condition, and what they think of easy jobs application as a whole when it comes to job searching. When it comes to job search insights, they actually talked about how they didn't like to talk to various agents, because when it comes to agents, what they think is that they'll be taking commissions from them and they'll be mishandling their information as to providing informations to various other sites. Talking about the right filters is very important when it comes to job searches, because it becomes a bit confusing for the candidate itself to fill in the filters and then coming to the right job that he wants to land to. Talking about Naukri.com, it is one of the market leaders right now, competing against Indeed.com, which is used almost by every single person who is searching for a job. Talking about desktop websites. Now, this was one of the major insights that we got, was because people who were searching for jobs on websites and desktops, they said that applications were not that effective for them, because most of their CVs and information was saved on their desktops and they tried to handle it professionally rather than over an application and while moving. So that was a major concern for them. Talking about fake listings, they were a major concern because they not only added to demotivation of the candidates, but it also wasted a lot of time. Talking about easy job specific insights, people wanted faster mechanism, and easy jobs helped them creating that impact because of the user interface that was created by the engineers here. Most people did not feel the need for a video resume, because most of the jobs were at a lower level and most of the jobs did not require that communication skill that a person needs to have for a video resume. Talking about the interface, it was really appreciated along with the chat to apply feature, and most jobs were entry level, which was again one of the major factors that affected job search insights. Talking about SWOT analysis that we did, we divided the parts into internal and external factors, internal being strengths and weaknesses of easy jobs. So the internal factors consisted of strengths, that was a user-friendly application that was appreciated by most of the focus group applicants that we had. There were more than 50,000 users and more than 3,000 employees in a very less period of time, which shows that the idea is very good and very effective in terms of both the aggregation of employers as well as candidates applying. Talking about product innovation, here a differentiation was shown because chat to apply feature was appreciated as it reduces the time feature and it reduces the demotivation that a person feels if it gets a rejection email after a very long time. So it gives a straightaway straight appreciation or a demotivation to the candidate to go through his different processes. Talking about weaknesses, the big job offers were not available, so people were not really into easy jobs a lot. Talking about desktop website, as I mentioned earlier, being a professional, people want to apply through desktops and laptops because most of the information is available on their is saved on their desktops, and limited employer details. This actually added to a lot of confusion as to whether the information was viable or it was really true to the nature of the employer. Talking about opportunities, we actually went through the news channels and various sites like Euromonitor and Statistica. So we got 10 crore new jobs will be created in 8 sectors due to government reforms. Now being an aggregator, Easy Jobs has a very good option to get both backward and forward integration. Backward in the terms that they can get more job offers, and forward integration that they have the opportunity to create themselves as a brand in the eyes of the customers. The number of smartphones in the country are likely to reach 859 million smartphones by 2022. Now how this helps is because they have an app. So 859 million smartphone users by 2022, and we have set a target group of 18 to 35, which is roughly 30% of the total population, and it comes up to 185 million users that they can be targeted via Easy Jobs. Talking about threats, an already developed competitive market, like we said that this is a red ocean where Easy Jobs is landing itself into. So there is a very high competition where Naukri and Indeed, LinkedIn, these all have already established themselves in the market. People are reluctant to download additional applications. One such point that comes in the mind is when it comes to part-time. Internshala is one such application that people are using as an application, and not even Naukri.com or Indeed. So beating that competition is very hard, and it requires product differentiation and innovation. Moving on. Competition is the biggest threat. So we went to Alexa.com, which actually shows how the sites are ranked by overlapping and through referral systems. So this was an Indeed.com's Alexa ranking that we had seen. We can see that Alexa ranking, the traffic sources are mostly through its competitor sites, Glassdoor, Yelp, LinkedIn, Indeed itself, and the referral sites are overlapped. If I'm using Indeed, 67% of the time I'm using Naukri.com too. So these sites, as they have a close substitute, so the people do not want that they should be waited for a longer period of time, or they should be given an offer that is not viable. So they jump onto the next site very easily. This shows the competition threat. Similarly, for Naukri.com also, 69.7% of the customers overlap with Indeed, 55.6% overlap with Glassdoor. So this shows that even if you are not, even if you are having a competitive advantage over your other sites, it is not possible that you're the only one who's selling jobs to the people. Moving over, we identified some pain points in the job industries. Me and Vishesh, myself, going through a certain phase where we'll be a part of this industry as well. So we were able to think through this process. The first is location, finding feasible location and the accessible area where we want to work. It is very tough because mostly where we want to work is not what we get. So the job location is an important factor, and here is where Easy Jobs really helps well, because when I was going through the application, a map was showing where all the locations are available, where will the postings be. So it was a plus point for the Easy Jobs as an application there. Talking about communication and response time, mostly what happens is when we apply to a company, the communication gets delayed, and this leads to a lot of time lag in the process where a candidate wants to apply to other companies but he's waiting for another offer. So it helps in chat to apply feature that the person is getting direct response from the company itself. Time to find. Now here is where filters and the search feature helps a candidate a lot. The time to find a job is actually very tough decision for a person, because he doesn't himself know what he wants to land or whether he wants to go into the job as well. So getting a lot of options and filters is always helpful. Moving on, talking about a personally fit candidate for a resume is very tough, because judging a person on the basis of his resume is often not judging his personality but what he has written in his resume. So finding the right candidate for a job role is often very tough. Talking about candidate seriousness, I might have a resume of 2 or 3 pages, but I might not be serious about the industry or the company, and I might not want to work in that. So candidate seriousness is often a pain point, not for the candidate, but for the company itself. Talking about hygiene filters, being culturally fit for the company and adhering to its policies and cultures is very ambiguous when the job offer is given to a customer, a candidate, because a candidate might not understand what is the policies or the governing things of the company, and am I culturally fit to it, or will it be difficult for me to fit in the company as well. So moving on, Vishesh will now take over.
So now coming actually to the bottom line of the task, that is that for easy jobs, we have to acquire companies and we have to acquire candidates at the lowest possible cost, because that's how we have to differentiate ourselves as guerrilla marketers for budding entrepreneurs and for startups. So firstly, talking about acquisition of jobs. Who is going to offer jobs on this platform? It's going to be an aggregator, agent, or a directly HR personnel from a company. And how do I want to target those organizations? I would here like to use the guerrilla tactics to ensure that my presence is reached to those people. I can put listings on other websites itself for recruitment agents for easy jobs, directly leading, because they are constantly scanning those pages. So I am hitting them right where they are so that I can acquire most of them. Company HRs or other recruiters, even recruitment consultants, they are going through profiles day in and day out, and they are searching for a particular set of keywords. My easy jobs, digital, static as well as video ads can directly be targeted to them, as I can put on the filters for both Google as well as social media ads. There are some B schools which specialize in human resources, and those people end up becoming HRs of big companies, and they handle recruitments very shortly. For it is important for us to establish the image of easy jobs in their mind as a more convenient utility tool with a large user base to understand. So sponsoring those HR specific events helps us get into the minds of the people who actually want to get in. So talking of the cost of acquisition, so these things that we actually talked about, it's very difficult to measure since I cannot guess the number of HRs and actually people looking for it. So the other thing which we are going to do is to acquire profiles. So my investment to acquire profiles, which has to be in a ratio of 3:1 to be minimum. That is why a recommendation of 3:1 media investment, the kind of seeding I'm doing to my digital as well as traditional media, has to be in that ratio so that I can have a balance. And here's an example of how attention can be grabbed, not directly by doing this, but how Ola did this with Uber. And that is why social media can be leveraged. A smart social listener, websites are very smart at social listening on Twitter. And as we had a long discussion about Twitter and how it can be used, this is one of the ways to show your presence there.
I'll quickly interrupt. You have got precisely 2 minutes to wrap up your presentation.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
So this is the strategy for acquiring. 3 points. One is to utilize the differentiation. The other is to utilize marketing communication. And third is performance marketing. It is not a direct word, and I'll run through it. Differentiation. As discussed by Harsimran, Easy Jobs app has some of the features critical that can address pain points. The interface is appreciated by one and all, and it's fast and effective. And the keyword usage about easy jobs, because it's an American concept and people spell it out and actually search for this keyword, but are actually not landing up to our site, but are going to people who are actually using this keyword. So we have this keyword already in the market. Marketing communications. So 3 measures recommended by us: OH, digital, and experiential. OH being one of the most effective ways of guerrilla marketing. So we have to break the clutter, go hyper-local, and since we are from Mumbai and have best idea about that city, we will explain how we can do it there. So in experiential, 8 crore people travel by local trains. Why not tap those them? Because they are going for their jobs from far off places, basically the suburbs to the city. And 60% of them are from there, and so why not target them as why travel so far? Put up our banners right next to the destination. So if I'm at Kalyan, I'm going to South Bombay, why travel so far? Find an easy job near you. So if we calculate the CPT, that is cost per 1,000 of media investments, and if I say if I'm reaching the amount of people which is 2 million and 5% of them search, and actually out of that even 5% of them actually use the app, my CPT is 3840, that is 3.8 rupees per acquisition. In digital, as we already discussed, video marketing is very important and so is mobile marketing. I've skipped voice because this category is a very high involvement and thinking category, and these two things have to be leveraged. Giving an example, I was going through Go Air YouTube channel, and as I opened the third video, it showed me an ad of SpiceJet. That's exactly what I want to do. If anybody is searching about careers, I can tag 40 such videos as a starter plan, and then invest about 10,500 rupees a month and get a cost of engagement as low as 1.26. And online presence on other social media and mobile apps it's actually, the numbers were available in USD, so this has been expressed is that CPTs of engagement are about 13 on Facebook while 48 on LinkedIn, considering it's an expensive platform.
30 more seconds.
Performance marketing, which is the last part. Once I reach a customer, I don't want to leave it. My customer is both. Since I'm a C2C platform, I don't want to leave any of them. So I have to utilize the cookies to retarget them so that I am not losing out on anybody, and building on large amounts of content in terms of blogs as well as video, so that anybody who searches about easy jobs does not go empty-handed, takes a bunch of information about my company and about the concept of easy jobs, and perhaps downloads the application. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. We'll give 2 minutes to the jury members, just in case you have any questions to ask.
Question actually for this part-time jobs, this platform is for part-time jobs. What is the size of the market in India presently, and how it's expected to go? Presently, how many people are looking for part-time jobs, and then how it's expected to go, increase over a period of time, maybe 5, 10, 20 years down the line?
So evaluating that, we only conducted to find part-time jobs as to find a listing through a search that how many people are looking for part-time jobs online, since we are an online-based platform. So the number of people who are looking for online platform are approximately 22.6, approximately thereabouts in millions. So these are people who have the number of searches that have conducted about part-time jobs, and versus job search, which is much, much higher. So that's about what we think.
How did you select the sample? You conducted survey for some X number of people. How did you select those people?
Yes, so the people were selected, the focus, that's why we call it a focus group, because we only selected people who among the in the last 2 years have done job searches and done it online, have done online job searches, so they have experience of using these platforms.
Well, that's still too wide. Now, did you not classify them? You must have certain percentage from this part of the job market, certain percentage from the higher end of the job market, etc.
So, sir, they were a mix of people. That's why.
Or it was random?
No, sir, they were random, but what we did was we went through LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn has a lot of people putting up their resumes that I need a job for right now and I'm looking for these sites too. So we contacted them. Other than that, we had our own contacts. Those were looking for jobs right out of getting out of MBA, or before that who had been into jobs before coming into MBA. So we talked to them and we held focus group discussions to them.
Audience is primarily restricted to those who are either into MBA or have done MBA. So.
That's about it. I'm sorry. Yeah. You have. No, there's no. Yeah.
We have time, minutes for 2.
We have. No, we.
Actually, since we're judging how well you've understood this and the ideas, right? I have 2 questions for you. Number 1 is, what according to you is the P1 TG, the priority 1 TG for this app, right? That's my first question. Go on. I want to understand your understanding. That's it.
So, sir, talking about the current placement of the product, these products are. This app is basically producted at low-level market, the jobs that are catering to low-level people.
So you understand that, right?
Yes, sir. Entry-level jobs. So 20 to 30 is the prime market where we are looking at, because 18 to 20 is the frustration time where a candidate goes, okay, I'm not finding anything.
Okay. I just wanted to understand that. Okay. Number 2, what do you think is the biggest selling point for the app? The biggest selling point?
Chat to offline. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, we are okay? Can we call it a wrap on this? The first one? Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so
Fantastic
much.
job. Very well done. Okay.